Hello and welcome to Star Opinion Live. I am Derek Donovan of the Kansas City Star Editorial Board, and I'm joined with my colleague Melinda Henneberger today to welcome two special guests we have. We have Billy Brimblecom Jr. and Jason Sudeikis, some names and faces you might recognize. They are here to talk to us about the fourth annual Thundergong, which is a benefit that's going to be going on this Saturday. That's the 14th. And let's go over to you, Billy, first. Can you tell everybody what Thundergong is and why you're doing it?
Yeah, Thundergong is a fundraiser for Steps of Faith Foundation. So that kind of answers both questions in one. But to expound upon that, yeah, Thundergong is a event that Jason and I created in 2017, which is a benefit concert, but also a little bit of a variety show with all sorts of special friends that come together, typically in Kansas City at the Uptown Theater every November. And we throw a great big funny musical party and for about 2,500 of our closest friends. And it's raising money for Steps of Faith Foundation, which is a nonprofit that is based here in Kansas City that helps amputees that are uninsured nationwide.
And how many people have you been able to get help with Steps of Faith so far through the years?
Through the years, it's been many hundreds. Since Thundergong started in 2017, it's been, I think as of today, it's like over 500 amputees we've helped just since 2017. So Steps of Faith started in 2013, so it was like 10 the first year, 20 the next year kind of thing, right? Tiny little nonprofit. We're still tiny, but yeah, Thundergong has definitely kind of changed the game and the trajectory for the organization, where we've been able to just grow and help more people every year. So it's a beautiful thing.
Doing it virtually, so you'll have like 25 of your best friends instead of 2,500.
Well, we'll have 25 of our best friends that are the artists
that are there. Okay.
So we're hoping it's more like 25 million watching.
Awesome.
Put that out into the ether.
All right. There's a rehearsal tonight, right?
Yeah, we got a little bit of rehearsing. I got to practice some songs. See if my karaoke chops have atrophied at all through quarantine.
All right.
But, it's a good thing that like Disney put out Hamilton, because been singing that a lot with the kids. So maybe it'll turn out all right.
Is there any upside to doing this during the pandemic? You might,
Yeah, I mean, the feeling of getting it done through the, obvious strife we're all going through, I think is satisfying. Satisfying.
I kind of like satisfacting. That's okay.
Satisfacting. Yeah, exactly.
That was the alternate title of the Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, satisfacting. But then also, we're able to, because people don't have to travel, we're able to get a bunch of big acts that we've asked in the past that, for one reason or another, maybe they were on tour, maybe they were, people are always enthusiastic when asked, but, one reason or another, they're unable to, and now they are able to, and they can record a performance and send it in, and then we use that. So I think that's been, two of the perks.
You guys have quite a lineup this year. I mean, you've got Blake Shelton, you've got Ben Harper, you've got Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine, Seth Meyers. I mean, if you go to thundergong.org, you can see the full list. And tell people a little bit about what to expect, because in the past, they can go to the Uptown Theater and see all these folks on stage with comedy and music, but what kind of programming are people going to tune into Saturday nights?
Yeah, it's kind of the same in some ways, where typically we'd have a handful of people that are all playing songs and doing crazy things on stage at Uptown. But in this case, it's just all those people doing all of those things in other places. And it's more people. I mean, that's another answer to the last question. We're just able to get more people. If we had, Ben Harper here in Kansas City, we're not going to just have him do one song, right? He's going to do 4 or 5 songs like he typically does the last couple of years. And so this way we're able to get 1 or 2 or so songs from a lot more people. So really programmatically, it's really going to be similar. I mean, it's kind of going to flow the same, and it's going to be, Jason is hosting, and we're going to go in and out of stuff from all of these people in a dramatically paced way that will entertain and move all.
It's like a good mixtape. It's got a little bit of everything for you.
Yeah.
Right. Are there some other challenges to getting it together this way that you haven't had to deal with in the past?
I
mean, yeah, you would know better than me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know it's definitely worth the effort, but this is a whole new thing that's proven to be, I don't want to say harder. It's just like more work, the pace that I have been like communicating with, like the amount of people I've communicated with a day, that's typically 2 to 4 weeks before the show. It's like crazy. That's been 6 weeks at least of just like really fast pace. It's just a lot more logistics, and also different kinds of logistics. We're dealing with more artists, but just like all these other elements that, that we've never had to deal with. I mean,
post-production elements. I mean, normally you do a live show,
right.
Second you do it, you bow, they lower the curtain, you're done. You can drink and high five and say, we did that. But, now we're taking all the disparate materials and calling them together and, giving a flow and a feel. So that's one of the, the new things happening this year.
Big time.
So, Jason, you're involved because you and Billy are longtime friends. You're an Overland Park native, right? Now, Billy, I don't think a lot of our viewers know, why is this personal to you? Why did Steps of Faith come about?
Yeah. Well, it came about, really, it goes back to 2005, and I was diagnosed with a type of cancer called Ewing's sarcoma. And really long story short, it all worked out. But as a result, I lost we're on camera, right? Lost my left leg above the knee to that cancer. Wrong way, opposite. It's like backing up a trailer. You go the opposite direction you think you need to. Yeah. So again, it worked out. I beat the cancer. I got the robot leg and that kind of thing. So I know the plight of the amputee, and I know the plight of dealing with insurance companies or lack thereof. Fast forward to 2006, and Jason and several other of our really good friends held a raise in Kansas City when I needed to raise a bunch of money for a prosthetic leg when my insurance would only cover half of it. And that was an incredibly moving night and very successful in 2006. And I thought, next year we did that for somebody else that needed that. Well, we didn't do that. I was living in Nashville, Tennessee, pursuing more opportunities in the world of professional music, which is how I was making my living for many years of my life. And one day, my prosthetist, my leg guy in Nashville, said, "Hey, I have a patient who just lost his leg to cancer. He's all healed up. He's getting fit for a new leg today. Would you talk to him on your way out?" And I said, "Dude, I would love that. I feel like that's why this happened to me, and I don't get asked to have conversations like that very often. Let's do it." And so sure enough, I talked to this guy, and talked to him for 5 minutes and saw the hope in his eyes. And I just said, I wish that could be my job. Long story short, I was introduced to the guy who owned the prosthetic company where I was a patient in Nashville. He said, "We should talk about working together." Nashville, note the accent. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't know what that means.
Very well done.
And and so as it turns out, this gentleman changed my life that day. His name was Rob Pittman, and he had established a 501c3 4 years prior. This is beginning of 2013. As it turns out, getting a nonprofit off the ground is just like getting any other business off the ground, and it's very hard and takes a lot of time. And he had his own business to run. But that day, it's like he tossed me the keys to a car with no engine in it and said, "See what you can do with that." And so it changed my life that day and gave me the opportunity to, alongside him, get this nonprofit going and see if we could help amputees around the country. So that's a very long story of why it's personal to me, but there's your answer.
That's one of the reasons it's personal.
Exactly.
Because you got a story.
Yeah.
How has insurance coverage for prosthetics changed in that time?
Well, for me personally, at least my insurance is covered. They were only covering half of this thing back in '06, and I get about 5 years out of these, and it's a pretty expensive device. So I will say at least my insurance has covered the last couple of them fully. I personally have a very high deductible, so I always have to come up with a large amount of money, but we work that out. So insurance has come a long way, but as a whole, Steps of Faith needs to exist, right? So what's that tell you?
Right.
Unfortunately, healthcare in this country is really inappropriately named. It's not healthcare. They don't care. They don't care about doctors, and they don't care about you or me. And take that one to heart. But it's health insurance, and it's a mess in this country. It doesn't matter who you've ever voted for or who you voted for just now. It is a mess, and it's a problem. And so, I dream of a world where Steps of Faith does not need to exist. But unfortunately, health insurance is a mess in Kansas City. A lot of people aren't lucky enough to have it. Medicaid in many states in America, and Texas is one of those states. We help a ton of people in Texas. Does not cover, not every state, but does not cover prosthetic care for adults. So you can have health insurance and be screwed if you've lost a limb. So that's why Steps of Faith needs to exist. So, I go to Capitol Hill with my friends at the Amputee Coalition of America every April to try to rally to get basically common sense insurance fairness passed through. And it's a long fight, but we're in it.
Given
Obviously,
how much, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Given how much we say we care about veterans and that this is an issue for a lot of veterans, I would think there would be bipartisan agreement to at least take care of this, right?
Yeah. So,
but I would think
but that part. Well, that part is taken care of for veterans. So quick fun facts for you. Veterans need help with a lot of things. And that's why there's a lot of organizations, thankfully, in this country that help them, and they deserve that and need that. One thing they don't need help with is if they've lost a limb in combat, they don't need help paying for a prosthetic device. That is covered by the government. That's a good thing. Also, veterans are the most visible population of amputees in America. Do you know how many veterans? Let me back up. 500 people lose a limb every day in this country, and that's not veterans. 500 people lose a limb every day just in America, which seems like I made that up, but it's true. Since 9/11, you want to take a guess at how many veterans have lost a limb in combat. Now, it doesn't mean veterans who have had been killed or blown up and had terrible things, but just combat amputations, veterans since 9/11. You want to take a guess at that number?
No. Okay.
1,553.
Huh.
So 1,500 a day. And since 9/11, 1,500. So again, that's not a disrespect to veterans at all.
Right.
That's just that people don't understand the world of prosthetics and amputations. I was one of those people. I've known the 500 a day stat for years. I learned the vet stat last year. So again, thankfully, there's a lot of organizations out there to help veterans. We've never been asked for the reason I just explained to you. If a veteran needed our help, they would be at the front of the line. But we just don't get asked because fortunately it doesn't happen very often. And the government does cover that piece.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously no one size fits all about prostheses, but how much money are we talking that you have to come up with? Somebody who has one similar to yours.
Yeah. Definitely not one size fits all. And I always say there's lots of different types of prosthetics because there's lots of different types of bodies. So I wear something that is a microprocessor knee that costs $60,000, 60. And that's not because I could drive a Honda, but I choose a Ferrari. All that stuff goes out the window. That's because this is made for someone to walk as normal and as good as possible based on my body type. But they go up to $100,000+ and they can go down to $5,000. So Steps of Faith is helping people that typically have no health insurance or no prosthetic coverage at all and just need something to get back on their feet, stop the catch-22, get back to work, start making money, hopefully then get a health insurance plan, and then they can get whatever they want. But Steps of Faith can help somebody for as low as $500.
One of you mentioned a minute ago, whoever you voted for. So speaking of who I voted for, Jason, are people stopping you on the street to say you need to return to your role as Joe Biden?
No, today was like the first day I've been on the street in a long time, and I was, and I, had this on. So one, nobody recognized me. Two,
That was just a way to ask. That was just a way to say that Derek and I think you should be doing it.
Well, I mean, that's opinions are
opinions are our business. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, well, hey, we're about out of time here, but how can people participate this Saturday? What do they need to do to stream your virtual event?
Thundergong.org. Thundergong.org. 7 o'clock Saturday night. The event is free. We ask that you RSVP. That's just so you keep in the loop. You don't have to RSVP. You don't have to donate. You don't have to buy raffle tickets. You don't have to buy merchandise. But we ask that you do all of those things. Free event. It is a fundraiser. It's getting people walking again. It's getting people their arms back. StepsOfFaithFoundation.org if you want to find out more about the organization. But we ask that you tune in 7 o'clock Saturday night, Thundergong.org, and donate something. Any amount of money. No too little, no too high.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you go, you will see that guest list is very impressive. Brandy Carlisle. I mean, just tons and tons of people that are going to, I think, bring in a lot of viewers. So, hey, Billy Brimblecom Jr., Jason Sudeikis, thanks very much for joining us here today on Star Opinion Live, and best luck to you with your Thundergong event on Saturday night.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thanks for having us.
Take care.
You too.